Racing to the 2020 Breeders' Cup, and this time let's get an update on the Breeders' Cup Classic field. The field is starting to focus in, and it looks like we could have a 9 to 10 horse Breeders' Cup Classic. It all depends on if a couple of horses that are considering the Classic end up entering the race. But anyways, I think we're looking at 5 or 6 strong contenders, and I think overall we're going to have a pretty solid betting board on this race. Do want to update the big 3 from Bob Baffert did work out over the weekend. Maximum Security, along with Improbable and Authentic, all whipping out 7 furlong workouts, and those are basically their big dog workouts, as next week will be a little bit lighter, and then we're just under 2 weeks away now from the Breeders' Cup Classic. Of course, we've already taken an early look at some of the 8 top contenders if you've missed that video, but this time around I wanted to take a look at the possible pace for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And there's 2 types of pace scenarios you get. You can kind of get a loose on the lead pace scenario, and then sometimes you get a fast pace, which is a little bit different than a contested pace. And a fast pace could just be when a horse goes out, runs really fast early, but he's not really pressured on the lead, versus a contested pace can be either faster fractions, and usually the more horses you get involved in the pace, the fractions start to heat up a little bit, but not necessarily, especially going longer distances. That's normally true in a sprint race, especially at 6.5, sometimes 7 furlongs. You get those contested paces with fast fractions. But in the Classic, going 10 furlongs, you're going to see, I think, a possibly contested pace. And the reason why I'm projecting that from the field that we have at this time is that we have a couple of horses that are run their better races or have run their best races on the lead. Let's start off with Authentic. He's got 7 starts, 5 wins and 7 races, and in all 5 of his races that he's led at the stretch call, those are the races that he's won. Now, the 2 times that he didn't have the lead at the stretch call was in the Preakness, when Swiss Skydiver made that bold move at the rail to kind of take the lead going into the turn. And then the second time Authentic didn't have the lead going into the stretch call was when Honor AP made that move with Mike Smith on him back in the Santa Anita Derby. And of course, in that race, what happened was Authentic broke a little bit slow, and so he kind of elected Drayden Van Dyke that day to lay back and not engage the leaders. So the only 2 races Authentic didn't have the lead at the stretch call, he did lose. Another horse, Maximum Security, he runs his best races on the front end. Now, he's a type of horse that can run fast and still finish. So I think we have yet to really see him. One of his better races was a Cigar Mile, and he put away that field, opened up by 3 coming into the stretch call. And then another impressive effort was he came just a little bit off the pace in Saudi Cup, and that time he kind of chased the leader. So he's never really been involved in a contested tussle for the lead. He's either taken the lead and dictated the pace or came from just a little bit off it. And then we've got a horse like Global Campaign, who the last time out took advantage of a small field, but he's been running 7 furlongs and a mile most of his career, and his better efforts have been on the lead. And I think he may want the lead in this spot. Now, the mid-pack runners and the pressers are still to be determined. I think your better pressers are Tom's Day Tot by my standards, and then that's where Global Campaign fits in. He could be a presser or a front runner. And then your mid-pack horses, Improbable and 'Tis the Law, they run their best races mid-pack or pressing. And then Tacitus, you got to remember, in the Belmont Stakes last year, he came from off the pace, and then in the Jim Dandy, he also came from back of the pack. So he is capable of being a stalker and even a closer in this spot, as there's just more horses with more natural speed. And Tacitus has been on the lead the last couple of times or closer to the pace, and I think coming off the pace without blinkers may benefit a horse like Tacitus in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So again, I'm projecting a contested pace, and I think we're going to have an 8 or 9 horse field with possibility of 3 of those horses wanting to run early on in Maximum Security, Authentic, and Global Campaign. And then Tiz the Law, he kind of was forced into that pace-passing role in the Kentucky Derby when Authentic was out there winging it on the front end. Swiss Skydiver, she's kind of proven to be versatile if she does run in this race. I expect her to be more mid-pack if the fractions get fast early. So just some of those early thoughts as we start to look ahead and take a deeper dive into some of these races. Remember, hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and share this video with all your horse racing friends. An interesting Breeders' Cup Classic coming up in the Breeders' Cup 2020.